Hello, everyone. Gosh, that took a bit longer than I expected to. I was waiting with bated breath there to see if it would all work. I think I have connected to all of my channels. Here we are on YouTube, on Facebook, on the page and in the community group, and over on Instagram as well. So say hi wherever you are. It's lovely to see you all. Yes, there's loads of people. I'm on like 3 different screens here. Oh, Linda's here. Good morning, Linda. How are you? Tell us where you are, what time of the day it is. I'm really sorry that it's quite early in the morning for certain people around the world. But hopefully you've got coffee and breakfast and you've come to join me for our final Q&A session. I cannot believe it, of the Franny Granny Crochet Along. So I've got a dog wandering around under me. So if he's noisy, I'm really sorry. He's if I closed the door last time and he didn't seem to like that. So I've left the door open so he can wander in and out. But hi, everyone. Gosh, there's so many people over on Instagram joining as well. This is so wonderful. If you haven't heard already, the Franny Granny Crochet Along has been almost a month long now, where we have been making all things granny stitch. I kind of got carried away over the last year and designed 11 different patterns using the granny square or granny stitch as the basis for them, and figured out a way basically of making a top down seamless garment that has endless possibilities, and I added bits and pieces onto all of them. So thank you to everyone who has been joining, and today we're just here. I'm going to talk through some customization tips. Because lots of people in the community group that have been posting what they're making, what they're doing, has been saying, I'm not quite sure how to change this. I don't know how to do that. So we'll chat through some different options that you have, and just to share with us what you've made, what you're planning to make, because the important thing is this, although the official crochet along finishes tomorrow, this doesn't go away. I'm not going away. The patterns aren't going away. You can still get all of this and you can still start tomorrow, next year, anytime. And I will be here to support you. And everyone in the community group, oh my goodness, has been absolutely amazingly supportive of each other. So thank you so much for that. We've got a few more people coming in. Hi from South Africa. Hello, hello. You're similar time to us, I think, aren't you? Because you're just crossing down. Oh, someone here in Nevada. Betty is in Nevada. I have no idea what time you're on. You're much further over, so it's probably really early for you. And yes, midday. Hooray. Crazy Poppy Lady is midday here. Yep. Same for me. And lovely and warm. We have suddenly got some heat here in the UK. And ironically, I'm going on holiday on Saturday to somewhere that isn't anywhere near as warm as where I am right now. So there we go. Make of that what you will. But yes, the one important thing that I need to say today before we get going, don't let me forget, I get carried away, is that, like I said, you can access the patterns on the blog forever. You can buy them individually as PDFs if you want to be able to print them off. And you can also get them as the entire collection. So all 11 patterns with a bonus ease guide and bits and pieces there. But the one thing that does go away is the opportunity to get the $149 using color in crochet course. Now, that is like my flagship course, which I absolutely, it was such an amazing thing to put together, and I put my heart and soul into it. So if you want to get that today, you then need to go and buy the Ultimate Collection. That's the only way of getting that today. And the QR code up here that says patterns will take you to that. And if you are on any platform other than, no, that's not quite right. Let me say that again. So if you're on Instagram or if you are on Facebook page watching, then you can comment course and it will send you the detail for that, just to make it nice and easy for you. Oh, lots of people. Oh, yeah, it's just gone 1 o'clock in South Africa. Yep. So time to get my kids back from school. In Houston, it's 6 a.m. Oh, good morning. Goodness me. Do you normally get up at 6 or is this early for you? Heather's here. Hi, Heather. Oh, and Stacey Ann's here from the Caribbean. Good morning. My gosh, I think we've got quite a few countries there already, haven't we? It's so lovely. And there's people from Southern California, there's someone from Belgium, Saudi Arabia, all sorts of places over on Instagram joining. Georgina's here from Cheshire in England, India, my goodness, Australia. Oh, and Cindy's here at 5 a.m. with coffee in hand. Yay. Oh, and there's lots of people saying that they're really enjoying it. It doesn't show all the chat on all of the platforms, so I'm really sorry about that. But lots of people saying that they are making stuff, they're enjoying these patterns. So do tell me what you've made, what you've enjoyed, where you're at with it, and what I can help you with. So, because this is the last chance, this is my last live session of this crochet along. And first of all, I wanted to talk about the different options. So you will have seen that there are children versions which don't have the granny squares here at the top. And there are adult versions that do have the granny squares at the top, but that also just start with the granny stitch, just like the children's ones do. So you can either create yourself a yoke from the top down with these granny squares, or you can work just from the top down in exactly the same way, but with a very different stitch count and construction with that granny stitch. So whichever version you prefer, there is an option for all of them, apart from the children don't have the granny squares. Maybe that's coming one day. Who knows? Who knows? Hold this space, hey. But they're the options for where you start. And we have cardigans, we have hoodies, we have sweaters, and we have dresses and a poncho. So there's lots of different types of garments that you can make, but within those, you also have different options too. I'm just going to catch up here. There's more people chatting. Someone, main knit and crochet, saying I'm on the second sleeve of the Franny Granny cardigan. Hurrah, hurrah. I like the fact that on these, I've made like 20 odd of these. I never felt like I was stuck on Sleeve Island, because the sleeves granny stitch anyway goes fast, doesn't it? But the sleeves go really, really quickly. So hopefully that will be done and dusted before you know it. Oh, and someone on Instagram saying that they have made the Penelope dress, which is what was my summer lacy dress that I launched. That's so cool. I'm so happy you made that. And it's 7 a.m. in Ohio. Jackie's saying I'm at work at 6, so I was glad. Oh, already up and going. So glad to catch this. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, and Heather, it's 4 a.m. Goodness me, Heather. Goodness me. Mind you, I'm one to talk. I do get up very, very early. Oh, and someone here who's made the Franny Granny poncho already. Yeah, there's lots and lots of different versions popping up. It's so wonderful to see them. And then Crazy Poppy Lady saying, I've got RSA in my wrist. Oh, sorry to hear that. So having to rest the hook at the moment. So I took up knitting, but the hooks will come back at soon. Yeah, yep. Hopefully it will. And it is really interesting. I've heard that from a few people actually, that if they knit or crochet and have a problem, they go to the other because that actually is a different hand action. It's a different way of using your wrists and your fingers. So yeah, it's always good to just have a rest and make sure you do take care of your hands. I've got an injury this week from a dog lead. The dog lead sort of scuffed the side of my hand. So I'm really happy that I'm right-handed and use my hook here, and that I don't have my yarn over this hand, because that would be really sore. But hey ho, hey ho. Yep, 7 a.m. in Buffalo. Oh, lots and lots of people here. That's wonderful. And Heather said I'm always up early. Yeah, same for me. Early to bed, early to rise is me. Oh, and someone on Instagram saying I made the top using the dress pattern. It turned out lovely. I'm so happy about that. And yeah, that's the important thing, that all of these designs, they can stop wherever you want them. You can make them to absolutely any length. You can make it into a crop. You can make anything from these, basically, because we go down. You're going to be able to see it if I lift it up there. We go down into a point, and the poncho obviously finishes like that, because we have a point at the front, we have a point at the back, and you can add your fringe, or you can leave it off, you can add some sleeves, you can do whatever you like to this poncho, and it stays with that point. But the other items, the other options, I flatten the bottoms of them, and we do that in a seamless way. So we close in the sides with a triangle shape, basically, and that then flattens the bottom. So all you need to do, lots of people have been like, how do I keep going and it doesn't get too long? Well, it works. It works. You just keep going until the point here, where your corner, as it were, is the length that you would like the entire piece to be. Then once that point is at that level, then you work the closing the bottoms instruction. And that is, it feels really odd, because you're decreasing in 3 different places. You're decreasing at the bottom, at the front and the back, and then underneath where your arm is, because it's a very different construction to this poncho. This is quite free and easy, but the numbers are really, really specific on all of the other garments. So it feels very strange, and people are like, this doesn't feel like it's going to be right. But if you feel like that and you're worried about it, just post a picture in the community group, post a picture and show us where you're at, and we can help. There are some people that have maybe put their double crochet in the center in slightly the wrong place, and that's totally fine and completely understandable. But just post and we can help you out, and it will save you going further and further and it not being quite right or not sitting in the right place for you. So, oh look, Betty's making 2 special radiating granny blankets at the same time, both different. That's so lovely. And I know actually there are a few people making different versions of these at the same time, because first of all, they're really quick and easy. And second of all, you can use your yarn stash. And also it just makes it more interesting, doesn't it? If I never have just one project on the go. I always have lots and lots of projects on the go. So yeah, it keeps me busy. Oh, I've lost a whole other section here. The community group. Susan's here from Hampshire. I'm in Hampshire too, Susan. And Sussex. 7 a.m. in Indiana for Linda. And oh, my mum's watching. Hello, mum. Just about to start the sleeves on the granny cardigan. Yay! My mum's been making this version in exactly the same colours actually, and it looks amazing so far. She's used, I may have given her the leftovers that I had of these colours, and then she ordered some more of this base colour. But yeah, she's making this really long cardigan version with the deep cuff around the end, the rib around the edges, and the long sleeves. And the great thing about this one is that, so I made this quite long even on me, and I'm like 5'7", but my mum's quite a lot shorter than me. So if she made it to the length that I made it, obviously it would be, you know, down to her ankles probably. So what she's done is just stopped when it was right for her. And the great thing is, because it's top down, you can try it on as you go. So once you've joined here under the sleeves, the body, imagine the sleeves aren't there. Once you've made this body, it will go down into a point, and you can then just try it on and go, yeah, this is where I want it down to my knee. Cool, no problem. You don't have to measure, you don't have to figure anything out. You just keep working until it is the length that you would like it to be. Right, Heather has said and asked, can you put a hook? Oh, it's not showing. There we go. No, not that one. Hang on. Sorry, I'll come back to that one. Let me come back to that one. Can you put a hood on the child's cardigan? Absolutely. So the hoodie that is the children's, let's see if I can find it. The children's hoodie, you add the hood, and the adult one actually as well. You add the hood after you've made the entire thing. Or you can add it at any point really, but the top works downwards. So whether you make the cardigan or whether you make the sweater going downwards, you can add the hood at any point. You can add a hood to any of these designs. I almost added one on my dress, but I thought, no, I'm not going to, not yet. Maybe for winter I will. So yeah, so just work upwards with the hood instructions. That if you've got the Ultimate Collection, obviously that's on that QR code, the instructions will be in the hoodie version. So just go and grab the page that's relevant for the hood. But if you're using the free to view versions that are on the blog, you can just navigate to the hoodie blog post and grab the hood section and read that section to work. And then do the cardigan from the cardigan post, obviously. So you can mix and match different elements of them. Oh, here we go. So let's go back to this one. So this person is saying, I need practice. Mine failed. I tried to go on my own. And then further down said, the fail was because I didn't trust the process. Trust the process. This is so true. So true. Yeah, lots of people have said, oh my goodness, I don't understand the armholes and I don't know how to do this and I don't know how to do that. And that's fine. You don't need to know. You absolutely don't need to know. You just need to follow and trust the process. And if it feels like it's gone wrong, that's absolutely fine. There are video tutorials for all of the patterns. I think there's like 9+ hours worth of me waffling on and showing you what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And when you close under the arm, the great thing about all of them is that they use very, very similar constructions, but very, very different numbers and different points of using that construction. So closing of under the arm is exactly the same for all of them. It uses the same process. So once you can figure it out for doing for one of them, then you'll be able to do it for all of them. So Crochet with Claire is saying very creative design. Thank you so much, Claire. That's really kind. And Heather's saying, yeah, I do have the whole collection. Perfect. So Heather, just navigate to the hoodie bit. And I think the hood section is actually on its own individual page. So if you wanted to, you could just print that out and then use that for the cardigan. Yeah. And so my poncho is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, that's so lovely to hear. So many people have made different versions of and the colors. Oh my goodness, the colors. I reshared because it was so amazing. There's someone called Sarah, I think her name is, who in the Facebook group posted she'd made a version of the dress, and it was in the most amazing 70s colors, like browns and yellows and greens and stuff. And she put a beaded edging along the bottom. So hang on, where's my, I've got a whole pile here of them all. So my dress was quite a vintage color collection anyway, but down here at the bottom I just did a really simple yarn over slip stitch edging, but Sarah added beads along the bottom. She made like a fringe with beads on it. So I mean, go to town, make these yours. This is my whole thing with me designing, is that I want to give you the I want to empower you to make your own decisions about how you customize your pieces of work and your crochet, because you're going to feel more, I certainly feel more confident if I have made it so that I know that it suits me, that I like the colors, that it feels comfortable, all of those things. So if you're making it to the version in the pattern and you think, oh, actually, I don't really want the sleeves that long, I want them 3/4 length, for example, fine, stop at 3/4. Or if you don't want to taper them, because they do all include instructions for a full granny stitch tapered sleeve like this, so it goes in slightly to the cuff at the end. But if you want yours straight, or even if you want them bell sleeved, go for it. There's instructions for the vast majority of customizations that you can make in it. So if anyone has any questions about particular customizations that they're doing, Crochet with Claire's asking, can I show the dress? Yes, absolutely. So this is one of these things that doesn't look very much when it's not on, but the shape of it is actually quite flattering because of this V. Well, they're all quite flattering because that V pulling into your waistline. And the neckline of the dress is kind of like this keyhole thing here, which is what the hoodie looks like without the hood. So if you wanted this neckline, but you wanted it in a sweater version, so you don't necessarily need to add the hood, you can just add sleeves if you want, and you can flatten the bottom at whichever point is good for you. So if you decided that here at this orange line, right, that's where I'm going to stop, you would stop increasing here, and then you would start to flatten the ends, and then all of the rest of this wouldn't exist. So that's how you can change the length of everything. Oh, we've got people here in Georgia. It's 7 a.m. in Georgia. Good morning. 6 a.m. in Oklahoma. Good morning, everyone. Oh, so many people. It's so lovely. Australia again. Oh, gosh. Someone from Queens in New York, Puerto Rico. And there's someone saying, what's your blog name? So my blog name, it's what is it? It's handjancrochet.com. That's what I was thinking. It's not got anything special or extra in there, has it? No. And I'll tell you what I will do. I will put in the link for the information page, because although the Crochet Along is coming to an end tomorrow, this page will still exist, because it has got all of the links for where to find all of the different versions on the blog, and also the individual patterns if you would like them to. So I'm going to leave that active. But as I say, the only thing that will change, the only thing that will be any different is the fact that you won't get the colour course. That will disappear at the end of tomorrow. So if you want to, go for it before then. If not, you can still grab it. You can absolutely get it, but that course won't be included in it. Ah, this is a lovely idea as well. I haven't done this because I never quite got round to it, but made my poncho yoke into a turtleneck and loved it. Yeah, that's such a great idea. And to make it into a turtleneck is actually really easy because you've got stitches all the way around here that you can then use. And you can either use a granny stitch and go up and then flip it over, or you could go side to side and work a join as you go ribbing stitch, which would then flop over and be really, really lovely as well. So yeah, lots of different options here. Look at, oh, it's 5:21 in Albuquerque. Oh my gosh, that's so early. I'm so happy everyone's up and joining. And we have someone from Boston over in the Facebook group. Lots of people waving hi on Instagram. Oh, a question about yarn over on Instagram. Amazing. So I use Stylecraft DK. What is the best yarn to use? So I think so. Stylecraft DK, I think, would work really nicely for this. You just need to make sure that you meet the gauge for it. And I mean, obviously that applies to everything anyway. But for this, it is very important. But you will see that the more summary, these cotton versions that I did, I used Comfy Cotton from We Crochet, and that's actually a worsted weight yarn. But I would say it's on the lighter side of worsted, and that worked incredibly well. And then these ones that I did the children's versions in, I used Bonus DK from Hayfield, which is a category 3 DK weight yarn, and that has exactly the same gauge. It met really, really nicely, and they have a really, really similar drape of them. One is acrylic, this one's acrylic, and the other one is cotton, a cotton blend. And then this version that I did is a worsted weight alpaca blend, but again, that matches really nicely with category 3. So I do find that there is not discrepancy, because it doesn't matter, but there is some kind of fudge factor between category 3 and category 4 when you're looking at the heavier and the lighter of each of those. They match really nicely depending on what your fiber content is. So Stylecraft DK, I would say definitely have a go with that if you're used to it and you like it, and if you've got lots in your stash. Heather says, yep, I'm using Paintbox Simply DK, which is what I used for this one. This is Paintbox DK here, which is from Lovecrafts, which they ship worldwide, I believe. And they have really, really lovely colors in their Paintbox yarns. So there's lots of different yarns you can choose from. And then, of course, if you wanted to go with a yarn where you don't have to change the colors yourself, this is one that I made in Jewel Spun, which is from Serda as well. My words are escaping me today. This is Jewel Spun, and this colorway is Northern Lights, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it does the work for you. So that's another one, but that is labeled Aran weight, but it matches the gauge perfectly. Don't quite know why, but it does. So I would encourage you to experiment, have fun with what's in your stash, and just figure out what works for you, as long as you meet the gauge. If you don't meet the gauge, the problem will be that your underarms and everything, like your chest size, the chest sizes have a good amount of wiggle room in them, and so do the armholes. But if you are if you're significantly under, then your armholes will end up being a bit too tight. And then because of the top-down nature of it, it's actually then quite difficult to readjust for the underarms there. So if anything, make sure that your gauge is just slightly over rather than slightly under. Or you decide to go, if you know that your gauge is under, you can then go for the slightly bigger size. So here we are. Right, let's have a look here. Lisa is saying, I'm in the UK. I used Stylecraft DK. What yarn would you use to have a cooler weight? So I would be looking probably at a cotton yarn. And in the UK, do you know what? Actually, I've just started working with some Hobie yarns, and they ship really quickly to the UK. They're in the Netherlands, I believe, and their rainbow cotton bamboo is absolutely beautiful, and that has a really, really lovely drape on it. So I would look at their kind of DK cottons, and I believe Paintbox have DK cottons, but that's on the thinner side, I believe. So you might want to look up into the more worsted weights of that, or you might find like a nice linen blend. What have I got? in my head. What have I got in my head? I've got something in my head and it will come to me, I'm sure. Oh, there's a Rico linen blend, which is really, really lovely. And I almost used to make a sample, but again, I ran out of time. So yeah, go and explore cotton blends if I was you, for the cooler ones. So this is what I was just chatting about, actually. So Martin said, I'm making the Franny Granny sweater. I've got to the point where to separate the sleeves. When I tried it on, the chain of 8 was very tight and seemed too far up the armpit. Should I do a few more rounds or a longer chain? So I think probably, Marcia, did you meet the gauge is the first question, because if you did, I believe the large should have at least an inch beyond. And if does your yoke sit comfy on you? Because if your yoke doesn't sit comfortably on you, that might mean that you do need to do some extra rounds, maybe just one round. But if you do that one round, you're going to have to figure out the amount of clusters that then gives you, because we increase at the front and the back for each round that we do. So if you do increase on a round, that would be my advice, actually, rather than doing different amounts of chains, because the chains then have a very specific number of clusters that go into them. So if you add another round, see how that fits and see how comfortable that is with 8 chains. And then you're going to have to accommodate for the fact that you've added 2 more clusters at the front and 2 more clusters at the back. So it will just increase the entire diameter of, the chest size and the armhole size of everything. So see how you go. I would just keep working until that yoke is comfortable on you. The other option is, of course, you can add more chains, which will then add more clusters in for your armhole. But I don't know if you're working from the PDF or from the blog. All the numbers are there, but obviously in the PDF, it's just a lot easier to see. In the PDF there, it lists exactly how many clusters you should have for your sleeve and how much that should measure. Here we go. I met gauge for width very close for height. Yes, so that's why. So for the width, then it's going to work. That will be big enough for your armhole. But for the height, it's just not going to give you quite a long enough. And that's probably why it's pulling up underneath here. So, I mean, the options are maybe take out your last few rounds and just make sure that you give a much bigger stitch for each of those, just to increase that height, because I think adding chains underneath isn't going to solve the problem of this yoke if the height of your stitches aren't quite to the gauge. So I hope that makes sense. It's very confusing. Oh, but you've got the pattern. Fantastic. So in the pattern, it will tell you exactly how many clusters per yoke and per everything. So it might just mean that you need to just increase to the next size for that yoke, and then increase, and that will give you more clusters for your underarm. So, but if that doesn't make sense as I'm explaining it now, do post pictures in the community group again as well, and we can have a look at what you're working on, what you're doing, and what your measurements are exactly. We will absolutely help you figure this out. Here we go, another one here. I love working with Cygnet's cottons. Yes, that's a great idea. Do you know, I haven't used any Cygnet yarn for years and years, but yeah, they do have a lovely set and range. Yep, definitely. Here we are. So Lisa's asking a question. Getting the gauge right, does that mean a bigger or smaller hook, or just a different size? So it means a bigger or smaller hook, so that your gauge swatch will match my gauge swatch. So your stitches are going to be exactly the same size as my stitches, rather than changing up, rather than working a smaller sample and then saying, oh, well, I'm going to work a bigger size, because the proportions of things that can work, but not always that well. So it's much better to change the size of your hook, or change your yarn. If the yarn is just not working, then it's probably a good idea to change your yarn. But if you change your hook up or down, depending on whether you need it to be tighter or looser, then you should meet the gauge, and then you can work the pattern and just know confidently that it will fit to your measurements. The other thing, actually, Marcia, that I was just thinking is that if you're not that far off in terms of size, it might be a good idea to actually block what you've got so far, depending on what fibre you're using. If you block it, it might actually give it enough ease. And if you make sure, rather than stretching the stitches, stretch the rows, so pin it out and see if it will meet the measurements of the schematic. That's another thing that you could try before you do any changes there. Oh, there's people here again. Oh, from Pennsylvania. Hello, Mary from Pennsylvania. And oh, lots and lots of comments on Instagram. Lots and lots and lots. Golly gosh, people joining. It's so hard to keep up with everyone. I'm so sorry. There is a question here. So because I don't want to take up too much more of your time unless people have got any more questions for me on the Franny Granny stuff. But someone's asking about my next project. That is a very good question. My next project is to go on holiday next week. That's the first thing. The second thing is when I get back in September, I have got a whole collection planned it's going to be called the Mystical Collection. And it's going to be very, very different to this. It's going to be colourful, but they're going to be block colours. There's going to be some homeware in it. There's going to be some accessories, and there will be garments as well. And it's all based on the theme of the half double crochet, because I don't know about you, but it's my favorite stitch. It's got so many options and so many possibilities, and I wanted to do something that it shouldn't be intimidating for anyone, because lots and lots of people, whether you're a beginner or not, we know the half double crochet. And so all of the patterns will only use a half double crochet or a single crochet, but they look really intricate and they look really knitted. And yeah, I'm really excited to show you what I've been up to. I'm clattering to the finish line before we go away to see if I can get everything done and ready. And I will get as many of them out as I possibly can when I launch in September sometime. So the idea is that it's quite classy, sophisticated, simple, clean lines. And I'm not saying that these are not, but it's very, very different to these, because I like a challenge. I like to challenge myself with new things. Oh, and someone's saying enjoy the holiday. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. There we go. So yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. If there's any more questions, I will just hang around for just a few minutes and check everything to make sure I haven't missed anything. But the important points for today is to keep making your Franny Grannies, keep posting them, and to make sure that if you would like the colour course that's included up until the end of tomorrow, then go grab the whole collection, which is on that QR code up there. Or if you are on the Facebook page or on Instagram, you can comment course and it will send you the information of where to find it. But as I say, all the patterns will remain free to view on my blog, supported by ads, so you can go and access those at hanjancrochet.com. And you can get them all individually as PDFs if you only want to make, say, 1 or 2 of them. So go grab those. And there's a comment here, sorry, on Instagram that I've just seen saying about gauge. So I met the gauge in one of your patterns, and I used the pattern for my measurements, but the wraparound shawl was too tight. I blocked it according to your pattern measurements. There was no ease. Oh, so I think you might be talking there about the Eleanor sweater scarf. Maybe let me know if that's the right one. And that is one that it does work. It works, but the sizing on it is very limited. It's a very old pattern of mine, and that is being updated as we speak. So if you contact me and let me know, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the pattern. It just obviously didn't work for you. So let me know, and I will be able to send you the updated copy when that comes out. Because this is the thing I'm now realizing: I've got over a decade's worth of patterns and all sorts of bits, and I have learned so much in that time. time. And so I am constantly updating things, and that is the one that is going to be the basis of this mystical collection. So do let me know your details. Just send me a DM or email me at hannah@handjancrochet.com, and we can get that sorted for you. Lots of people saying course. So yeah, you'll have that information sent to you. And Jackie's saying, I just put the patterns, can't wait to get started. Amazing. Jackie, come over to the Facebook community group and share with us what colours you're going to make, what you're going to do, and all of your progress pics, because we cannot wait to see them. So thank you, everyone, for joining me. Everyone's saying have a lovely holiday and vacation. Thank you, everyone. That's so kind. And I'll be around, but I won't be as around as usual for the next couple of weeks. So yeah, because our summer holiday is still going here. Our children are still off for a good few weeks, but I know that lots of children all over the world have gone back to school like this week. So my children are feeling very lucky and excited because they're still off for a few weeks yet. So thank you so much for joining me, everyone, and I will see you again soon.